Hey, ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to our channel. I do hope that you're doing fine, and I do hope that this video does find you in good health. And in case you're watching the channel for the first time, go on and hit the subscribe button. And for my returning viewers, thank you very much for supporting this channel, and I hope that you will also like this video and you can even drop the comment in the comment section. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about an opinion poll that has been trending this week that was put by Kalonzo, and it has attracted quite good numbers. As I'm speaking now, that opinion poll has more than 20,000 participants. Now, Kalonzo decided to put people with their possible presidential candidates with their possible running mate or coalition mate. And in that opinion poll, as you can see on my screen, it has Okiya Mtata with Maraga, Matiangi with Peter Kennedy, Raila and Ruto, and Kalonzo, Gachagua and Omara in the same coalition. Now, you can see very clearly that in this opinion poll, Maraga is the winner with 48% of the total votes from that poll. Then number 2 is Gachagua, Kalonzo with 19%. And number 3 and number 4, the tie between Ruto and Raila and Matiangi and Peter Kennedy. So, I've always said that should this be the candidates for the 2027 general election, ladies and gentlemen, then we are going to have a run-off where there is no candidate getting 50+1. And assuming this were the results, then we are going to have a runoff between Maraga and Kalonzo. Kalonzo being at 19% and Maraga being at 48%. So Ruto and the likes of Matiangi will choose sides they'll be supporting. Should this be the case? So from another thing that learned from this opinion poll is that Maraga is not somebody you can underestimate. The population of the country is made of 60% youth, and when youths are saying that they are supporting him, that's quite a significant vote, and it's been expressed from this poll. And a lot of people in this country believe, those who are genuine, believe that Maraga can take the country to the next level, especially because he has no issues surrounding his history in government or his service as a chief justice during his times. So Maraga leads in this opinion poll with quite almost more half of the poll's participants who took part. And the 20,000 is not a number you can estimate. It's a good number to give a general overview. And with time, I'll be updating you to when this poll leads to 50,000, and if it can pull to 100,000, I'll be updating you to see what numbers or how do the poll play out. But Kalonzo and Maraga are the people who are leading, or Maraga leads and Kalonzo also comes position 2 in this poll. Ladies and gentlemen, another story I want to talk about today is that Rigathi Gachagua was yesterday in the KTN famous interview, and where he has dropped a lot of things against government. And I told you that as we go ahead, we are going to experience quite interesting times in politics. Now, Kalonzo Musyoka said that, remember that there's an interview that President Ruto has done in Mount Kenya, and it claimed that Rigathi had asked 10 billion, about 10 billion for him to go and mobilize the people of the Mount Kenya region and to talk to them. Now, Kalonzo yesterday, Rigathi yesterday came out and responded saying that the president had called him and volunteered to give him money so that he can voluntarily resign. And now what's more interesting about this story is that Rigathi Gachagua went ahead to say that they met in some safe house, and the president had sent some man who is in government, but he didn't reveal his identity, which he promised to reveal in future, to convince him to take the offer from the president so that he can resign voluntarily and be given some money. Now, Rigathi Gachagua supports its evidence by saying that he recorded that conversation and he has stored it very well for future reference. And when that person who was sent by the president retires, because he said that that officer is about to retire, he will be releasing that recorded evidence to the public to hear that discussion. So it's very interesting and something that people have been really talking about, and people will be waiting to see whether at some point Rigathi Gachagua will be releasing that conversation between him and that officer, and maybe the president, of trying to seal a deal that Rigathi resigns voluntarily. Another thing Rigathi Gachagua also talked about that also attracted masses is there was a time that fertilizer was donated to Kenya by other countries, and Rigathi Gachagua goes ahead to say that government and the president gave that fertilizer to a farm in the country, which repacked that fertilizer that was a donation and sold it to Kenyans, pocketing billions of money from a donation. And even challenged the journalist who was interviewing him to go and ask the Minister of Agriculture what farmers or which kind of farmers received that donation, which was about 60 tons, and 30 tons was about 90 tons, about 100 tons that was given as a donation from other countries. But as Rigathi claimed that fertilizer was taken, rebranded, repacked, maybe let me use the name repacked, and sold to the citizens of the country. And he went on to even release or give more details about the story of Farouk and Dennis Itumbi. The president has talked that Rigathi was putting cases with Itumbi and Farouk Kibeti. Now, Rigathi Gachagua said that Farouk Kibeti is not a small person, as the president was saying. He quoted saying that Farouk Kibeti is a co-president. He said that the president gives direction to cabinet secretaries through Farouk Kibeti. And during his time as the deputy president, Farouk Kibeti was trying to organize who visits his office as the deputy president. And he realized that he was collecting some money. That's what Rigathi Gachagua said. Collecting some money with the people who are coming to visit his office, which he addressed and told Farouk Kibeti that cannot go on. He cannot be controlling who visits his office, and that's where the problem came. And with the story of Dennis Itumbi, Rigathi Gachagua said that whenever he was having a conversation with the president could pick a phone, and a few minutes, Itumbi could come in and say that, Mr. President, you are late for the next meeting, and that conversation could stop there, and especially when the conversation was not in the president's favor. So Rigathi Gachagua, after some time, he realized that this thing was becoming a trend, and he realized that maybe the president was texting Itumbi to come and put an end to that meeting by saying that, Mr. President, you are late for the next meeting. And so Rigathi Gachagua, one time when Itumbi was coming in, confronted Itumbi and told him that you cannot be stopping or interrupting my meetings with the head of states. I'm his deputy president, and you have no authority to interrupt that or this kind of meetings. And that's what Rigathi Gachagua said, that the president was the deputy president was having issues with small officials. So, and there are a lot of things need to be said in the government, and with time, Rigathi Gachagua is going to have a lot of issues, or to bring up a lot of issues. He even talked about the gold scandal that is going on, and he asked even the international community to put sanctions on President Ruto. It was quite an interesting time, and if you do not reach it to it, you can check on it and listen to the allegations that Rigathi Gachagua raised through yesterday's KTN interview. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for you for today. Stay safe whenever you are, and be safe.